Hello, honorable members of the clan. So, welcome to my YouTube channel. So, let's go to Cape Town at Parliament where Fannie Masemola is. I'm impressed with everything that is happening there. And I have noticed something about the ad hoc committee. I think the terms of reference is quite loose versus the rigid ones that we are getting at the Matlanga Commission of Inquiry because they are able to expand a little bit. What do they mean by this? Without stepping over the terms of reference. And I'm loving, loving, loving that. Now, Fanema Semula, of course, he is witness number two on day four of the Parliamentary Ad Hoc Committee. And thus far, he is doing such an amazing job. And I also want to say something, guys. Today, I am very busy doing personal stuff. So I'm not particularly focused on the commission. However, where I can pick up, I will come and then give you my 2 cents. And secondly, guys, the house of Maumela or Morgan Maumela is being raided as we speak. I think they are done by now. And there are some several Lamborghinis. Mara, why are we these typical black people? Why are we these typical? Oh my God, give a black man a 1 million rand. The first place they run to is BMW, Mercedes, or even Lamborghini. For what? Instead of like, how do I invest this so that I can drive a Lamborghini and it's like far into the future? But no, let's do it right now. Oh yeah. Anyways, let's continue. So, guys, there are some several things that I picked up from Fanny Masemula, but I want to start with this one because the reason why I want to start with this one for the longest time, guys, I feel like in as much as we were justified in criticizing the police force, but now that you are listening to the boss, it's he is saying that listen, guys, the police they are demoralized. They want to do their job. But because of interference, and most of the interference is done by both parliamentarians as well as politicians. So now you'll be saying, but parliamentarians are politicians. Well, not every political party in this country is in parliament. You must understand that. And some of these politicians, for I'm going to give you an example. A political party that is not in parliament right now is a newly formed political party like Mayibuyi Africa with Floyd Shivambu. Now, this is Floyd Shivambu. I mean, everybody knows who Floyd Shivambu is. And he comes with influence, he comes with a voice as well. And if he is feeling uncomfortable about a certain police officer, don't you think he will go to a police, somebody that is in charge, and say, I don't like this police officer? So basically, that is what he means that politicians and members of parliament, and yes, not all members of parliament, those that have nefarious reasons to frustrate the police work are the ones that are doing that. And of course, most of these will be your ANC guys. I cannot imagine any other except Adams, the one that was singled out together with Diane Collar Barnard, who is allegedly is consulting with her lawyers regarding her being recused from Parliament. And I did say this before, like I don't think she should sit there. And if she does, then resign as a joint, whatever it's called, the intelligence committee. Because if you come here, that means you might even have to give up some information that you know that you shouldn't be talking about. But it is what it is at this point because South Africa is so used to anarchy. The lines have been blurred a long time ago. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that their hands themselves are tied behind their back. That irony of having police officers having their hands tied behind their back because they cannot do their job. They are being stifled by politicians and members of parliament from doing their job. So now the question is, what do we do? What do we do? Because the best thing that you will tell a community is that there are no vans. You know, This excuse is very much national. There are no vans, but they know there are no vans because if they did go, they don't know what politician that has an influence in that community for them to be able to do their job. So that is why I am saying it again. The South African police force need to be removed from government. And then the second thing that I picked up, speaking about the police, of course, because it is about the police thus far, is the vetting of police officers. 136,000 police officers. Not all of them are vetted. The majority of them, I'll say, they are not vetted. Hence, you even have convicted criminals that are police officers. They are supposed to be serving criminal sentences in their respective convictions, but no, they are still wearing our blue uniform. Why? Because nobody is vetting them. And chances are because of the faction, political factions that have been created post 2007 ANC elective conference has created all of this. All this mess was created post 2007 ANC elective congress. And they are going to come and act as if they care. As if they care. So now, then they're not vetting them. And again, I will bring this to the Senzo Meiwa unaliving trial. There were two first responding officers. And then when you listen to the one of them was Mtetwa, and I even asked the question, when did he become a police officer? Because we know that the South African police force, family members were being recruited as police officers because somebody was in charge. Natim Tata was a minister of police. And the question I asked, how related is to Natim Tata, this gentleman? And I asked this question back in 2023 because he doesn't seem to know how the police work. And then I even went as far as questioning the police academy. What exactly are they teaching these people? Because the questions that he was being asked, they are questions that he ought to know the answers from training at least. Pull the book on us. But no, he had no idea what he was talking about. And that is why I had to ask a question about whether this person got the job through Natim Tetwa, who was the police minister. May his soul rest in peace. Things like that. And then you also, I always blamed the lack of the police academy that is outdated with new crimes in South Africa. And the police officers, they find themselves asked very complex questions about their day to day jobs and they cannot respond to that. Why? Because they are not vetted. So that means there are a lot of people that are police officers untrained. Untrained. So now I was very happy to hear Fannie Masemola say, well, the vetting is not going to be done internally. It's going to be done by SIU. And I was like, I'm happy to hear that because we need that independence. And of course, he didn't make a disclaimer that it's not that he distrusts the internal process. I'm saying, no, we don't trust the internal process, especially if SIU is going to root out convicted police officers. I'm happy with that. I don't know what your thoughts are regarding vetting police officers independently. And in my head, I was like, yeah, yeah. Those that got this job in very questionable ways, bye bye. Because, of course, SIU will have to recommend that they be removed from the police force, unfortunately. Unfortunately. And then the third thing that I picked up from Fanny Masemola is the tenure of the National Police Commissioner. That while it's 5-year contract, but many National Police Commissioners they want to complete their tenures, but because of interference and maybe when a police commissioner does their job thoroughly, there will always be somebody either inside the police force or a politician or a business person that does not like how this national police commissioner is working. And then they will start the process of caucusing with people that have the power to remove this particular national police commissioner. So in most cases, you are like, I might wake up tomorrow morning without my job anymore because somebody wanted me gone. Why? Why? Because they want to be in control of the criminal cartel or the criminal syndicate that now we understand exists. So that to me kind of broke my heart. It's even the way he said it. You could hear that he was saying it with a broken heart. Like, listen, my contract expires in 2027, but I'm at the mercy. Can you imagine being at a mercy of a criminal that goes to the minister of police and says, get rid of him? Wow, South Africa. And there's another thing that I picked up from Fannie Masemola was when he wanted to clear the air regarding the judiciary that on the 6th of July, Ntatam Kwanaze also mentioned. He says that not all the judiciary that are involved, but there are some, just like with parliamentarians, it's some parliamentarians, it's not going to be a whole bunch of people. But of course, at the end of the day, such people need to be sifted out of the system because they are enabling the criminal syndicate and cartels. I was like, okay, I get that because I couldn't think that the entire judiciary, of course, will be corrupted by the criminal syndicate. I just felt that the Chief Justice of the Constitutional Court, who is also the boss of the judiciary, shouldn't have thrown that letter and demanded evidence from Lieutenant Latlam Kwanaze. All that she had to have said was, listen, we heard the allegations and we are going to be conducting our own investigations. And of course, while we're doing our investigations, we will also be in contact with Mr. Ntlantam Kwanaze. What was wrong in saying that? Again, guys, it's low pressure in Johannesburg, and the sun will be covered by scattered clouds now and again. And I hate it. I am so sorry. It is what it is, and the joys of being a YouTuber as well. So, thank you for your tolerance. And then my last point, it was what he said about the improvement of police work since the 6th of July. Apparently things changed. And I mean, I did say in my video around the 6th of July, like, watch the police start doing their job. Watch how many arrests we are going to hear about. What happened thus far? Katie Mulefe arrested, Kat Matala arrested, and suddenly things were starting to happen. And Fanny Masemola basically reported to the ad hoc committee that the enrollment of cases has increased as well. I'm like, I like that. I like hearing that. But again, you are beginning to see that these guys' hands have been tied around their backs for a very long time. And now that politicians don't want to be named, they let go. They've let go of the police force. They're not interfering. They're not saying anything because they don't want their names. Unfortunately, it's too late. Once you have been identified, you've been identified. Unfortunately, we're not going to hear most of your names because that is going to be done in camera. But yeah, it is what it is. And I like also how this is more of a discussion than it is a probing. It doesn't feel like this is a probing, even with the parliamentarians as well, when they were asking their questions. I mean, you can tell they are not lawyers, of course, because the line of questioning itself, it was more conversational, like more like breaking the ice than it was like a legal type of battle, and then you have to answer and finish your answer within those bounds. But it's a conversation, and they feel the comfort to expand as well. And if in their expansion there is a bit of a blur, then the parliamentarian will say, "Hey, please clarify that," and then they will elaborate. I like that. I like that style. Keep it up, ad hoc committee. You're doing great. I think. I think you should be given your flowers, even though I feel there's a lot that needs to be done there as well. The capacity problem, it's still lingering in that parliament, unfortunately. I hope we vote better next time. I really do that we vote better next time. But so far, well done. I'm impressed. I don't know, it's still early days. We have 34 witnesses that are lined up. Who knows? Maybe things are going to take a left. I don't know. I just hope you guys will be able to put everything in control. And thank you that you started when you walked in today. It wasn't that whole administration stuff that you do first. Do that way before you come in. It's wasting time. But thank you guys. I don't know what your thoughts are, guys, regarding what is happening in Parliament. Thus far, I feel much more informed by Fannie Masemola, and I feel we are going to hear more from him. Oh yeah, also when it comes to General Dumsane Kumalo, apparently there are investigations as to why he fell ill when he was supposed to have testified. But the police doesn't want to divulge much information except to say he's in good spirit. Now that kind of like scared me a bit. It scared me when I heard the word investigate. Okay, anyways, I hope he's good. I hope that nothing was wrong, was just a little bug that was cured, and he will be back on Monday, the 13th of October 2025, because he was dropping some jams himself. Again, Morgan Maumela's home is being raided. Anyways, please don't leave the video without liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, and I'll see you next time with a new video. Goodbye.